have your starter kit, you might have gotten a book called Start. If you don't have this yet, because you're waiting for it, then you might have gotten something called the Business Power Plan, or you might have an area somewhere that you can take some notes there on some leads and how to develop your personal contact list. In the Start part, there is a place where you can make a tracking sheet here of some women you'd like to give facials to. So before we go on to that part, I want to share with you one of the biggest questions or concerns people have is, what happens after I run out of my 5 friends or 6 friends or 2 friends or my neighbor next door? Well, I want to let you know that we do lots of things. We're very involved in Mary Kay, in our communities, in our schools, in our churches and everything. So here are some of the things that we do. We do a lot of trade shows, home and garden shows, bridal fairs, booth events, 5K runs, marathons, trade shows. Let's see, what else do we do? We get involved in a lot of community things. So we are out there always with the different festivals that are going on out there. We do health fairs. We get very involved in the chamber and the chamber fairs. A lot of my consultants do things that are from another country, and so we do a lot of cultural things too. We do a lot of business fairs. We do all kinds of networking things. And so make sure that you talk with your director about some of the local things that are going on. You might have this one yearly festival, or a Kids Fest might be in town, or we have a Mary Kay booth. We do a lot of those types of things, and those are very, very helpful to you too. Don't forget, making sure that your Facebook page is up to date with Mary Kay information, because people look on Facebook a lot today, so you definitely want to do that. So I wanted to share with you, we do a lot of things. We get involved in photographers and weddings and makeup on the wedding day and makeup before the wedding, and photographers who wanted to shoot photo shoots, and so we work with some photographers local. So we do lots of different ways, lots of different things to make lots of different leads. So I wanted to just share that with you besides just your 4 friends. Now what I'd like you to do at this point in time is maybe stop the DVD if you haven't already and just take a pause moment. And I want you to do is just think about 5 or 10 people. Real quickly, what I'd like you to do is jot down their names of some women that you'd like to give facials to. Making sure you either have a list, a prospect list, of some people that you want to be able to facial. So if you'll just stop the DVD just for a few seconds, what I want you to do is write down those names. So if you can do that for a few seconds, that'd be great. I'd love to see you come up with at least 10 names. Friends, neighbors, relatives, anybody like that. Okay? So let's do that first and then we'll move on. Okay, now that you have your names, let's talk about that. One of the very most important things that you can do in Mary Kay is pick the days and times you are going to do your Mary Kay. I can tell you, you're probably just as busy as anybody who joins Mary Kay. You know, it's always the busy women who do the other things too. You go to any junior high or high school or even college today, all the mothers volunteering are honestly always the busiest mothers. Oh my gosh, everywhere I go, women are always busy. But I always find it's the busy women who get things done. Now, in your starter kit, you received a date book. This is very important. I would like you to get your date book, and when you do get your date book, or if you have it there and you can just pause real quickly and grab it. One of the things that I know about women is we work really well at month at a glance. And so we can see the whole calendar in the month. And what I would like you to do with this month at a glance is to take the days that you are going to be doing your Mary Kay. For instance, if your meeting is on Monday, I block off every single Monday night in your date book. This also helps your family work on a schedule. You know, one of the things that I've learned very easily in Mary Kay is that if your family runs on a schedule, it's a lot easier than maybe your husband coming home and saying, is this a Mary Kay night or is it not a Mary Kay night? What are we doing? So you want to pick the days and times you're doing to do your Mary Kay. And I'm going to share some stories of how I did that in the beginning. But what I'd like you to do is work month at a glance. Now, when I joined Mary Kay 28 years ago, I was going to college full-time and I was working full-time. So therefore, I did not have a lot of time. So I'm going to show you what I did. My meetings were on Monday, so I picked Tuesday night to do my skincare classes, and I picked 7 p.m. was my time. I picked Thursday night for my second night at 7:30 p.m., so I wouldn't get confused with Tuesday night, and then I picked Wednesday morning. And frankly, that's really the only time I had is because I was working a full-time job and going to school. Now, for those of you who have a nail person or a hair person you go to all the time, when you call them up, or even a doctor, think about it. Let's say you have a nail person. You called her up and said, hi Sue, this is Janice, and you know what, I need my nails done sometime this week. When do you have open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? And she might say, Tuesday at 7 I have, Thursday at 7:30, or Wednesday at 10 a.m., which would you like? And see, that's the way we have to work in Mary Kay. It's very important that you pick the days and times you're going to do Mary Kay. Now, I will tell you, they did take a poll to find out what night of the week women spend more money than any other night of the week. And I will tell you, it's Thursday. And why is it Thursday? Is because women spend more because they're in better moods. You know, for those of you who work a job during the day, Friday, even though your physical body is there, about 12 noon, you check out. Even though your body is still there, you're on to the weekend, what you're doing, getting off work, going shopping, wherever you're going to go. And so women notoriously are in much better moods on Thursday nights. So I always tell people to book a class, if that nothing else. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesday at 10 a.m. is what I had. And so what I did then in my date book, and I put it in green time, and took a green pen because that's my making money time. And I took every Tuesday night, blocked it off, every Thursday night, blocked it off, and every Wednesday morning, blocked it off. And so my goal was, when I sat down to book my appointments, if I knew that those spaces were empty, it was my goal to fill those slots. And so that's the way I work this business. Now, it's very important that you guys work that way too. So I would think about the days and times that you want to do your Mary Kay, and then book the classes. And by the way, as long as we're talking about classes, let's talk about that. Especially for those of you who are working a job and are very, very busy, which just about everybody is. If I'm going to go out in the evening, I would much rather go out for a class with 3 people, or a party, whatever you want to call it. I'd rather have a party with 3 or more women than just one. Why? Because when I have one, I have a 50-50 chance. Maybe she doesn't like the way I do things or whatever. But when women are together and they're friends, they sell each other on other things. Like, one woman might say, "Oh my gosh, Betty, that's amazing. You look so much better off than you did when you came in here. And, oh, Joanne, you look great. You need to buy everything." Takes me out of the picture, and they sell each other, which I think is a great way to do that. So try to always book a class with at least 3 people or more. Okay, so you got this. Pick the days and times you want to do your Mary Kay. Mark it in your date book. And then we're going to go to your list. So I'm hoping you all made your list and you have some names on here. And my goal tonight is to help you with some scripts. And you know, when you're new, you have to kind of get used to saying a few things until it becomes you. And so the most important thing is I teach you how to do this. Now, I always tell new consultants it's very important that you book 5 practice classes in their first few weeks. And what I mean by practice classes, you let people know it's part of your training. And when they know they don't have to buy anything and it's just practice, let me tell you, my consultants' practice classes are amazing. They actually sell a lot of product. So, let's take the first name. Let's say Sue is on your sheet there, and she's a friend of yours, and she just, she doesn't know you're doing Mary Kay yet. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to call up and say, "Hi Sue, this is Janice. Oh my gosh, guess what I'm doing? I just started teaching skincare for Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I need your help." Usually they'll say, "Oh great, what do I have to do?" Well, what you're going to say is, first off, Sue, you don't have to do anything. But as part of my training, I need to make sure that you have 2 friends at your house besides yourself in order for me to call it a class. Remember, a class is at least 3 people, okay? So let's talk about it. Remember, a class is at least 3 people. So, you know, Sue, I'm so excited. I just started teaching skincare for Mary Kay Cosmetics. And as part of my training, I have to hold 5 practice classes. And I really need your help. All you have to do is invite 2 friends over to your house besides yourself to make it a class. And for doing that, I will give you $20 of free product. Now, you all can do whatever you want. You can give away $20 of free product, $30 of free product. You can give away brush sets. You can give away whatever you decide to do. Some type of incentive, obviously. Now, the reason I don't do a lot of things like brush sets, not to say that we don't have amazing brush sets, and I love our brush sets, and I love those things, is because you really never run out of it. By giving free product away, they usually run out of it, need more of it, and want more. So I would definitely say that that is definitely a plus for you too, okay? So I always used to say they got $20 or $25 in free product. I mean, think about it. $25 in free product costs you half that. It costs you $12.50 to get 3 women around a table, and trust me, everybody always buys. So it's not a whole lot. And so my suggestion is, first pick the days and times you want to do your Mary Kay, and then say to her, "Sue, I'm so excited. I just started teaching skincare for Mary Kay Cosmetics, and as part of my training, I have to hold my first 5 practice classes, and I need your help. You do not have to buy anything, Sue, but in order for me to count it as a class or a party, whatever you guys are, wanting to say, you need to have at least 2 friends there besides yourself. And these are the openings I have left. Those are your only openings, but these are the only openings I have left. Tuesday at 7, Thursday at 7:30, or Wednesday morning at 10. And let her choose one. Now, that's how you run your business. You know, you think about it. You call up a doctor and your daughter or your son might be sick and they need to see the doctor. You don't call up and say, you know, Dr. Smith, tomorrow at 2 is the only day I have and the only time I have available. You call him up and say, hey, Dr. Smith, you know, this is Janice and my son needs to come in and he needs to see you. There's something going on with him. And he'll say, well, here's the times I have. I have tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. or I have at 2 o'clock. Which would you prefer? And if we would all run our business like this and not that kind of desperate when we're brand new, you know, what you don't want to say is, oh my gosh, I have nothing going on. I'll do it anytime. See, there's nothing going on in my calendar. You don't want to do that. You always want to make sure that they know that they can be squeezed in an appointment and that these are the days and times you're doing Mary Kay. That's why so many people who come from that industry kind of already get that. Some of us, it takes a little while, and it did me too. But I will tell you, picking the days and times to do your Mary Kay is very, very important and very much will help you. So you definitely want to make sure that you are doing that because that will help you get that done. Okay? So, pick the days and times you want to do your Mary Kay. All right? Think about that. And then what you want to do is, you know, go through your list and book those very first 5 practice classes. That's very important that you book your first 5 practice classes and you get that done. Okay? All right. Well, let's go on to the next segment. Okay, now let's talk about something else. Let's say that you're out in a store. Maybe it's a grocery store, you're out shopping, and you actually have your Mary Kay beauty coat on. And by the way, that's what I love about the beauty coat. It says Mary Kay on it, which is so great. Because maybe you're out just running errands and you wear your beauty coat. I wear my beauty coat everywhere when I'm running errands. It's a great conversation piece. People say, oh, you're in Mary Kay. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this on today. So maybe you meet somebody, you're standing in the grocery store line, and a woman turns around and she says, oh, you're in Mary Kay. And you say, oh, yes, I am. And she says, you know, I lost my consultant, or I've always wondered about Mary Kay. I've always wanted a facial. Well, here's my card. And you give her your card because they're in your pockets, and you get her name and phone number. Well, let me have your name and phone number. Okay, great. And you say, I'll be calling you and seeing where I can squeeze you in the next couple of days. All right, wonderful. So you go home, and I probably wouldn't call her that night. But let's look at the things that we did before and think about this. So I would call her the next day. I would call her up and say, hi Sue, this is Janice with Mary Kay. We met yesterday in the line at the grocery store. And she'll probably say, oh yeah, I remember you. I said, well, I was just looking over my calendar and I have a couple of openings where I could squeeze you in next week. We could do Tuesday at 7, Thursday at 7:30, or Wednesday at 10 a.m. Which would be best for you? And she might say, well, Thursday at 7:30 would be great. I'd say, that's awesome. Okay, great. Well, by the way, it's just as easy for me to do a couple facials as it is to do 1 or 2. So if you invite 2 friends over to your house besides yourself, remember it's a class this way, okay? If you invite 2 friends over to your house besides yourself, you get $25 in free product. Do you have a couple of neighbors you could possibly invite? Great. Now think about that. Let's role play that again. So you met her, you got her card, you don't call her that night, you call her the next night and you say, hi Sue, this is Janice. We met at the grocery store. Do you remember me? Yes, I do. They always say that. Say, well, great. Well, I actually have some openings where I could squeeze you in next week. Tuesday at 7, Thursday at 7:30, or Wednesday at 10. Let her pick the time. Once you book the one, then you say to her, by the way, Sue, it's just as easy for me to do 1 or 2 facials as it is to do, yourself. So in fact, if you invite 2 friends there besides yourself, you get $25 in free product, okay? So these are people that you meet out running errands. Maybe you're with your kids at their school, or somebody says, oh, I heard you do Mary Kay. Get their name and number. Always don't just hand them a card. Get their name and number. Women are busy. We need to call. We need to follow up. And that will also help you too. So that's another way that you can also produce an opportunity to have a skincare class, okay? So that will help you with that also. All right, so that's the segment on booking. You might want to replay this a couple times just so that you kind of get the scripts and kind of get the ideas, but pick the days and times you're doing your Mary Kay and make sure that your family knows that what you're doing with your Mary Kay business too. All right, so go ahead and replay that again if you need to. If not, come back to it and we'll move on to the next segment.